President Pence will be speaking at the annual NRA meeting on Friday in Dallas. And to make sure that he's safe, they will be banning guns during his speech. Yeah, I wish that I was making this up. I looked over and over again to make sure that this wasn't fake news, and this is a real story. And the fact that the NRA does not see the hypocrisy in this is the best gift that we could get here. Now, Pence is scheduled to speak at this meeting, and it's going to host many attendees who will be packing guns, knives, and other weapons for the event, which includes more than 20 acres of firearms exhibits, and is expected to draw 80,000 members. Now, the NRA said the U.S. Secret Service will coordinate security for the Pence speech and will not allow weapons in the arena while he is present, which is interesting because I heard that if you're worried about somebody's safety, you need a good guy with a gun to make sure that they're safe. That's what I heard.
And think about all those good guys
exactly.
in there.
So it's just a room full of good guys, right?
A room full of, like, you know, volunteer Secret Service members.
Yeah, that's confusing. Well, let's continue and read on. As a result, firearms and firearm accessories, knives, or weapons of any kind will be prohibited in the forum prior to and during his attendance. There's also a detailed list of prohibited items that include ammunition, drones, gun parts, firearm magazines, as well as signs and glass containers. So there are no glass bottles, no signs, no guns. But most people are really upset about the whole gun thing. And a lot of people are calling out this hypocrisy, especially a lot of the Parkland students who are being told that their teachers should have guns in their schools, but to protect the president, well, we shouldn't have any, or vice president, that we shouldn't have any guns near them. Now, Fred Guttenberg, who is the father of Jamie Guttenberg, who was actually killed in the Parkland shooting, tweeted this out, and I think this really sums it up. He says, on so many levels, this is enlightening. According to the NRA, we should want everyone to have weapons when we are in public. But when they put on a convention, the weapons are a concern. I thought giving everyone a gun was to enhance safety. Am I missing something? And to be honest, there's a lot of NRA members who agree with his standpoint here.
They want their guns.
Yeah, well, so there was a Texas CHL forum, right, where a lot of these gun owners comment. And there was one in particular who said, obviously, even Republicans and so-called leaders don't trust the good guys. I realize it's the VP, but still makes our whole argument look foolish. So there's a lot of NRA members who are really upset about this. There's a lot of NRA members who are attending this meeting who say, I'm not gonna, I have a license. I'm not gonna put my gun away. I just won't go to his speech because this is the entire point of going to this meeting. But I don't know if the NRA sees the irony in all of this.
This is not the first time that a government member's policy that they want a different policy than the rest of you. Like, unfortunately, his health care is better than yours too.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, but
it's better than what he's fighting for you.
Right, and it would be as though he's attending a conference on health care to extend your parallel, but no one in the crowd can have the health care that he is pontificating about. This is so excruciatingly bizarre. But of course, the whole situation, the hypocrisy, in a way, isn't lost on the NRA. I mean, they're smart people. They're super smart, clever in terms of finding ways to constantly push the gun agenda. But there is no way around it, right? They know the truth, which is that hall isn't as safe if there are a lot of people with weapons there. So they have the vice president there. That's precious cargo, and they can't have a dangerous situation. And they know that if everybody in that hall has a gun, it's a dangerous situation. They know that if everybody in that school has guns, it's a more dangerous situation. They know the truth about these guns in these schools. And apparently, though, the message is that the vice president is more precious cargo than those elementary school kids at Sandy Hook or the moviegoers who attend screening of Batman and then get wiped out in a massacre by an assault weapon. They know. The NRA knows the truth.
They're saying the guns are the risk, not the people, the guns. The guns are a risk, and there's a Secret Service policy that says, hey, the guns are a risk. But when it comes to school, it's like, sorry about you. That we'll protect you with more guns, maybe, clear backpacks. I'm not sure, but for me, the guns are a risk.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is when we're talking about this decision, right? We know that it's not coming from the NRA themselves. Sure. It's coming from the Secret Service. And to have Pence at this event, they need to follow the Secret Service's guidelines, right? But if the Secret Service, the people who are protecting the president, the people who are protecting, the vice president and their families, if they know it's not safe to have guns around, you would think that the president, that the vice president would be privy to this information, would be sensible to this information to then say, oh, maybe it's not a good idea to have guns around our children. Maybe it's not a good idea to have every, American toting a gun in every public space. Because if it's not safe enough for us to be around, it's probably not safe enough for every single human in our country to be around.
They know that,
right.
But they're bought and paid for by the NRA. Of course they know that. And look, the NRA could have pushed back on this. I understand it comes from the Secret Service, but the NRA could. It would be like having a free speech convention, hiring an artist, a hip hop artist or a rock and roller or whatever, and then some of the lyrics are obscenities, and going, no, but there are no obscenities. It's a free speech rally, and you're going to say that there are no obscenities? I mean, truly, you can't have the vice president there at a convention to celebrate gun owners' rights and then say we can't have any guns.
Well, that's the thing, that the politicians who make moves and who, perpetuate this nonsense when it comes to lack of gun control, when it comes to the Second Amendment, they are definitely bought by the NRA, 100%, right? But in this case, NRA is trying to appeal to Pence, right? Because if they are buddy-buddy with Pence and he can keep up the rhetoric about the Second Amendment and he can keep up the rhetoric about having guns in schools and things like that, that bodes really well for them.
So they'll make any adjustments necessary.
Right now, it's kind of a flip of the switch and he's saying, oh, no, I don't want guns around me. I mean, kids, that's fine, but not around me.
Right.
Calling me, that's probably what he says.
Regardless of
Mother, come
the
save me.
administration is, the idea is if they don't like your policies, then you don't get invited. Not everybody gets invited, we know, to these conventions. And so this is a major policy that unfortunately the vice president has to abide by. But it seems like it's absolutely the opposite of one of the main things that the NRA promotes. And so you would think that it would be like, we just can't have you here because this doesn't fit with what's most important to us.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, but clearly it doesn't matter. Maybe they figure, hey, it just doesn't matter. Our group, the NRA, is made up of essentially true believers. And as Hannah said, I mean, you did say, look, there are people who are pushing back on this and saying that they just can't stand. How can you argue one thing and then have this other policy? But for the most part, the NRA falls in line, and everybody, they're true believers to the point that this won't matter.
And that's the saddest thing about this is they are so powerful and so fervent in their belief of the Second Amendment and their belief of being able to carry, whatever sort of firearm they desire, that this sort of hiccup in their logic, one, is probably, not super well talked about within their own circles, and two, is just not really going to make a huge difference in their membership or their power.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber, and second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.